You push your car through those doors every week, thinking you're getting a deal. But here's something most shoppers never stop to question. A low price tag doesn't always mean a good deal. Sometimes it just means a problem you haven't discovered yet. For anyone who's shopped here for years, especially older adults on a fixed budget, a handful of everyday items are quietly costing more in replacements, repairs, and headaches than they ever saved at checkout. If you like videos that save you money in the long run, hit subscribe. And let's get into it. 1. Budget flat pack furniture. That $124 futon and $68 nightstand look sharp in the store, but crack them open and you'll find particle board held together with glue and hope. The screws bite into that soft board and strip out after just a few tightenings. One shopper said her futon started creaking within weeks, and the nightstand top warped the first time a cold glass sweated on it overnight. Another found the table legs were nailed on instead of screwed. All four eventually pulled loose and had to be braced with plywood underneath. A sturdier nightstand elsewhere runs about $95. That's more upfront, but you're not rebuilding it a year later. For older shoppers, that matters doubly. Wrestling with wobbly furniture and reassembly isn't just annoying, it's a full risk. 2. Store brand bath towels. At $13, a towel set feels like a steal, until wash number 3 or 4, when the fibers start shedding all over your machine. The weave is loose to keep costs down, so absorbency drops fast, and the texture turns scratchy, which is rough on sensitive, older skin. Washing them separately in cold water barely slows it down, because the problem is the material itself, not your laundry routine. A denser, long fiber towel set elsewhere costs closer to $24, but holds its softness through dozens of washes. 3. Bargain shower heads. A $13 shower head might start dripping, even fully shut off, within 6 weeks. Inside, the plastic ball joint isn't machined tightly enough to seal, so water sneaks out at the connection. Spray pressure gets uneven too, as mineral deposits clog nozzles too small to clean out. Crank the fitting too hard with a wrench instead of hand tightening, and the plastic threads can crack outright. A metal-jointed shower head elsewhere runs around $32, a small premium for water pressure you can actually count on. 4. Cheap laundry baskets and hampers. At around $15, these seem like a no-brainer, until the handles, which take the most stress when the basket's full of wet clothes, snap off the thin plastic joints. Leave one sitting on a damp floor and the bottom warps, making it tip easily. One woman had a handle give out mid-stairway, dumping a full load of wet laundry across the floor. Collapsible fabric versions aren't much better. The metal frame bends after a handful of folds, and the whole thing loses its shape. A basket with a thicker build or metal frame costs about $32 elsewhere, but it'll carry real weight without giving out. 5. Bottom shelf kitchen appliances. The $87 ice maker, $14 toaster, $18.88 blender, and $14.74 frying pan all share the same floor. The internal parts are undersized for what the box promises. One family's ice maker started grinding after 4 months, and customer service called it normal wear, which meant no warranty coverage. Blenders strain on ice, blades dull fast, and non-stick pans peel the first time a metal spoon touches them. Worse, when one part fails, there's usually no replacement part to buy, just the whole appliance again. A comparable blender elsewhere costs closer to $28, but comes with an actual parts warranty and a motor built to last. 6. Basic area rugs and doormats. Shed fibers during the first few vacuum runs, A rubber backing that starts flaking within months and edges that curl into a genuine tripping hazard. That's what $12 to $30 buys you here. One shopper nearly fell in her own kitchen when a curled corner caught her foot, even after weighing it down overnight to flatten it. Machine washing shrinks or frays them almost immediately, and sun exposure fades the color into patches near windows. Rugs with a solid rubber backing elsewhere run about $45. Pricier, but they actually grip the floor and hold their shape. $7. Multi-purpose plastic storage bins. Recycled polypropylene is more brittle than fresh plastic, so corners crack under stacked weight. A real issue for bins, priced as low as $6 to $17. Lids warp with temperature swings, which breaks the seal and lets bugs in. The side handles, the exact spot bearing the load when you lift, are the first thing to fail. One shopper's bottom shelf bin split at the base after a single winter of holiday storage. If you're using this type, don't stack more than 3 high, and always lift with 2 hands. Thicker bins elsewhere cost around $28, but survive real moves and real stacking. 8. Decorative wall clocks and small home decor. A $3.88 wall clock looks great on day one, but the finish peels in sunlight and the internal mechanism drifts. One shopper's clock ran 5 minutes slow per week within 3 months, throwing off her whole household's schedule. The hands are held on by tiny plastic joints that pop off if bumped while dusting, and the hanging hook is thin enough to bend from an oversized nail. Hang it near a bathroom and rust sets in early. A clock with a proper metal movement costs about $22 elsewhere and actually keeps time for years. 9. Basic air mattresses, inflated firm before bed, wake up nearly on the floor. That's the common story with the $55 version, usually bought for guests or camping. One couple had to reinflate it twice in one night when their grandkids visited, and everyone woke up with back pain. The PVC is thin, the valve doesn't seal fully, and seems fray if the mattress isn't folded correctly for storage. The included pump is underpowered too, taking forever and running hot. A heavy-duty version elsewhere costs around $90, but a double lock valve keeps it firm all night, every night. 10. Extended warranties at checkout. That $8 to $10 add-on sounds like peace of mind, but the fine print excludes almost everything, including normal wear and tear, which somehow covers most real failures. Claims can take weeks, and more than one customer has been denied over a missing receipt detail or a mismatched product code from a rushed checkout. On an $18.88 blender or a $14.74 pan, that warranty fee is basically half the item's price for coverage you're unlikely to actually use. Snap a photo of your receipt at checkout and double-check the item listed, or better yet, use a credit card with built-in purchase protection and skip the fee entirely. The fresh meat section deserves its own mention. Labels here rarely specify the actual farm or region, and most beef sits in the standard, select, or choice grades rather than prime. So, tenderness and marbling vary purchase to purchase. Some shoppers have opened a tray to find the top layer looking fresh while the meat underneath had already turned grey. Poultry skews almost entirely conventional, with little in the way of organic or free-range choices, and pork rarely includes heritage breeds prized for flavour. During busy hours, cold chain handling can slip too, leaving product out longer than ideal. The prices are low, but often what you're really paying for is volume, not quality. Here's the part almost nobody notices. The layout itself is working against your budget. Bright rollback signs trigger that little dopamine hit of, I'm saving money, even when the actual discount is pennies. Name brand items sit deliberately next to cheaper store brand versions, nudging you toward the one that feels like the smarter buy. Milk and eggs, the two things almost everyone comes in for, sit at the very back, guaranteeing a walk past snacks, candles, and decor first. It's why the average shopper spends 25 to 70% more than what was on their original list. Even buying in bulk isn't automatically cheaper. Check the unit price in small print, because bigger doesn't always mean better value. And sometimes the exact item in your cart is over 12% cheaper on the store's own website, a gap most registers won't match. A low price isn't the same as a good deal. Sometimes spending a little more upfront saves you far more down the road, in money, in time, and in avoiding another trip back to return something broken. Next time you're in the aisle, slow down, check the unit price, and ask if this is really the version you want to own for the next year. If this saved you from a bad purchase, subscribe for more videos like this, and drop a comment letting me know which item on this list surprised you the most.